Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Fatimah Zahra. Today I will interpret about Jokowi's speech. The plenary session of the cabinet reminds all of us that we are not in a normal situation, right? Global is not a normal mood. Energy crisis, food crisis, financial crisis has started to hit several countries. There are approximately 60 countries that are in the process of facing pressure due to debt so that their economy is deprived of foreign exchange and entering the so-called economic crisis of the country's financial crisis. This is what we really have to anticipate. Don't let be while someone feels that we are currently still in normal condition. Therefore, what we have is been pulled from our commodities, namely, so that some of them are also stored in the tube of increased strength. Everything has to be on guard like that. Not everything is spent on energy subsidies. We know because the food crisis hit the world, food prices are all going up. This the people should also be informed. Rice prices rise quickly, held often compared to other countries. On the other hand, the price of wheat goes up by how much? Conveyed to the public, and the most terrible is the threat of hunger and poverty that is starting to appear in other countries. It is estimated that at this time 13 million people have started to starve in several countries. The energy crisis has also hit the world, and food prices in all countries have risen sharply. This is also placed once again with Foreign Minister convey comparisons. This base price, how much is there? How much is the price of wheat here? How much is there? How much is the price of wool here? How much is there? The Minister of Human Resources also conveyed that. So, the people know that our position when compared to other countries is still in a very good condition, but we still have to be vigilant and careful so related to the energy crisis. Whether it's gas, diesel, Pertalite, Pertamax, don't expect too much, especially Pertamina, especially PLN. Expect too much, and it looks like it's only expecting from the subsidy in the Ministry of Finance. There should also be efficiency measures so both work. If we only hope to continue on subsidies from the Minister of Finance without any efficiency effort and PLN at Pertamina, this is what the public sees, how good it is, which ones can be efficient and which one can be saved. Then, which leaks can be prevented. Everything must be done in position like this. Oh yes, I forgot. Welcome to the new minister, Mr. Zulfikri, the Minister of Commerce, Mr. Haji Cahyanto, Minister of HRBPN. Sorry, I forgot I saw it. Just remembered. Then, in the short term, how can increase production? So it doesn't really depend on the import. Oil wells, no matter how small, are encouraged to increase their production. But it's clear, the most important short solution is to keep the price in the community down so that it remains stable and affordable. I'm happy today that I came to several markets in West Java, and yesterday I checked again in Banten province. The price of cooking oil for the bulk is already 14,000, but is it only in these two provinces? We hope that in all provinces the price is already at that figure. This morning I asked Mr. Menkomar Invest, I also asked Mr. Trade Minister this morning, who is still asking for 2 weeks to a month to be evenly distributed. As soon as possible, we must try to achieve that price so that is affordable for the lower class. Therefore, even though the burden of our fiscal is heavy, the government has committed to continue providing subsidies to the lower classes, both related to pertalite and diesel fuel, related to gas and electricity, which we have to keep an eye on. And again, I asked the ministries, institutions, and state-owned enterprises to make as much expenditure efficiently as possible as the government has fiscally. But on the side of the food crisis, I said earlier, actually there is an opportunity for food which we can pursue in a short time, because we know that for food production on land, for example, growing corn in only 3 months to 100 days, planting rice also only takes 4 months, soybeans to reduce our imports also take 3 months to 1000 days, and we have a very large area of land that is still very much neglected. I have also said many times, for example, palm oil among the palms can actually be planted. In the short term, corn can be planted out of the ground. Ones can be planted on with porang or maybe sorghum or others. I go to this if the store is full of stock. Yes, it's very easy now that the name of marketing food ingredients is very easy. And we have, in addition to a large area of land, our workforce is also a lot of farms, including those in the sea as well. The potential is huge. Imagine, if we can produce food in the short term, we must all mobilize, not only self-sufficient in the food sector, not only independent in the food sector, but we once again have the potential to export, and the demand has come in a lot. Some people ask for 100,000 per month. Some ask for 1 ton, 2.5 million for this year. 2.5 million tons of rice. I think this will be increase our foreign exchange reserves. Therefore, I ask that we focus first on massive production increases. Whether it's from farmers, whether it's from corporation or from BUMN, everything must be seen properly so that we don't get trapped in the daily routine that we often get trapped in there, so that the grand strategy is lost. The great thing we had to do was lost, and the types of commodities that are planted according to the character of the area. Yesterday I saw with the head of KSP seeing sorghum in entity. For example, when corn is planted, it doesn't live. When it is planted with sorghum, it is very green and the plants look very fertile. This is after checked. It turns out that in entity first there were a lot of sorghum plants. Then the second one, if the production is large, the second one will immediately confirm who the optician will pay, who will take who, so that the farmer continue to produce. But there must be one who buys it, with the achievement of farmers also producing. Many blocks they don't take. For example, if it has been determined, this mechanism must be decided immediately. And yesterday I think we have conveyed it to the show minister to immediately ready for the product. What is the cost? The third is also, if you have taken it, don't let it be like bullock taking from farmers. A lot of stock can be sold well, so that the quality goes down and some is rotten. It means that everything has to have a grand plan. The grand plan, like what we have already said, in the implementation must also exist. This is what require a good orchestration between the Minister of Private Intentions and all regions. Because if you look at this, for example, the government budget for food security is very large. In 2018, the total is 86 trillion. In 2022, it is 92.3 trillion. What are the result every concert year? It's clear that if not 92 trillion won't be used, we will just buy rice for stock, clear food stuff for the people's stock. The 2022 budget was 36.6 trillion for the Ministry of Institutions. The detail were 36.6 in the Ministry of Agriculture, 14.5 trillion Ministry of KKP, 6.1 trillion Ministry of Public Works, 15.5 trillion other ministries, and KL 0.6 trillion. Now I ask the Ministry of Public Works, the Minister of Public Works, if it is related to food matters. Maybe it will start or not. The large dams are already in the process. 60 dams, 29 dams have been completed this year. Another 9 dams have been completed. This may begin to enter into small things that can directly enter the people of the Ministry of Embung, which can be directly utilized, which may not cover a large area but must be allowed. Then the irrigation that goes directly to what we saw in NTT yesterday is concerned and direct protection. We don't have time. This is our opportunity to take advantage of the opportunities due to the world food crisis. Remember that we are one of the 5 champions for the global response to food, energy, and finance. If we can export it, helps other countries but it pays. So maybe in my opinion, when channels like waterways, like the one in Palu NTT, are considered, in my opinion, then small dams might be more considered for small rivers than exist in all regency. Then it goes to 30.8 trillion. This is for fertilizer subsidy of 25.3 trillion. Please check once here. It must be clear where the benefits will go. What are we in the position of atmosphere in a world that is uncertain and not good? Then the remaining 21.9 trillion is transferred to the area 2. Please look at this properly. Ma'am, the Minister of Finance and possibly related ministries in the physical figure of 8.1 trillion in the non-physical figure of 0.2 trillion in the village fund of 13.6 trillion. This must be really accurate and useful results. I think that's what I can say in the introduction this time. And lastly, I forgot about nail and mouth disease. It really must be handled properly, like we are dealing with COVID. Yesterday, I thought the method could be done for oral and nail diseases. There are examples and ways to do this. The method coming soon in the field. Thank you so much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.